I mean, we asked Larry Stone yesterday from the Seattle Times, hey, is this a talent issue, right? That was one of our leading questions. What were your expectations when they started the season?
I mean, I saw a playoff team. I did. I saw a team that I thought would take a step forward from last year when they made the playoffs. They had a lot of young players who I think reasonably expected to get better. You know, Julio and Raleigh. Kelnick was a huge question mark. He's actually been one of the few pleasant surprises, although he's stopped hitting over the last month. So that's a big concern now as well. Maybe I misjudged it, but I thought that they had a chance to compete for the division title.
Now, I don't think that Larry misjudged it, nor do I think that if he did, he's alone, right? I put out that Twitter poll yesterday during the show because we were seeing so many texts on the Mac and Jack's text line saying, like, hey, service is an issue here. And I was like, am I, like, in the minority here? Like, am I just blind to an issue? And so I put out a poll, and Twitter had a different one. Twitter didn't go with management, which was the third most common answer. It instead went with poor execution. Almost 60% of 2,800 votes went for poor execution. I think many people saw this team the way that Larry did and the way that you and I did at the start of the season. World Series team, they got some holes. Playoff team, yeah, they could be. They've got the talent to do it. And that's why so many people are frustrated. That's why so many people are angry. And I think, Bump, that's why so many people are looking at execution as being maybe the biggest issue.
Yeah, because last year you had two legit All-Stars. Granted, you get one. Every team gets one, right? But I would say France and Julio last year.
But we earned one last year. It wasn't a pity All-Star.
Even if we didn't have that, automatic bid, I think France and Julio would have been in the mix just because of the way that they were playing. So you had two legit All-Stars. You had a rotation that looked solid. That's when Robbie Ray was just there. Then you add Castillo, you look even better. You have other guys, Gino, who's been around the block a couple of times, who was balling. So we're thinking, yeah, you should at least be in the mix for the division. I don't think that was too much to ask. So you add some pieces, not the ones that we wanted, but you felt like this team still got better. Now, did they get better to the extent that we would have liked them to? No, but you felt like they got a little bit more better, so they should at least be able to duplicate what they did last year. That just hasn't been the problem. So I was pleasantly surprised that your poll had we said 66% said execution, which is surprising because that's not what we get on the text lines. People who interact with the show, it's more, I would say, half of the people were saying get rid of the guy in the dugout, the good old skipper. And they think that's going to fix everything, or get the switch up the hitting coach, or do something with the staff. And now I'm not saying no one on the staff should be untouchable. I think when you go through trials and tribulations, you look at the personnel, you look at staff, you look at everything, look at every department and say, where can we get better? But I think the polls got it right. It comes down to the dudes on the field. The dudes on the field got to be able to ball out. Now, they need to be supported. They need a skipper who can talk to them and get them going. They need the other guys on the staff to communicate and help out where guys are struggling. They need the dudes upstairs to provide some assistance, some help, especially at the trade deadline. But it comes down to the guys on the baseball diamond. And, I agree. They just haven't been playing.